Well, hi there, everybody, from Monte Carlo. Phil Simborg again at the World Championships, the 53rd World Championships at the Fairmont, Monte Carlo. And I have the pleasure of interviewing one of the few remaining players in the championship division. As a matter of fact, there are 8 players who are battling to get into the finals to play Sander Liloff, who is the undefeated player. And this year, the format is different. The winner of the fighters bracket will only need to win one match to win the championship. Sitting with me is a gentleman that's going to be playing in the next match, John Royset. Nice to see you. And John Christian Royset, who will be playing Johan Moazed, an 11-point match. And the winner of that will play the winner of Fernando Branconi and Patrick Didishem. And the winner of that goes on to play Sander for the championship. So nice to see you again. We're old friends. How many times have you won Monte Carlo?
Once.
One time?
Yes.
That's a question I don't ask a lot of people.
Yeah.
Please speak right in here. And when did you win it?
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
And have you come back many times since?
I have not counted, but maybe 2 or 3 years
2 or 3 years?
on average, yeah.
And are you pretty much playing backgammon all day and every day in Norway, or do you do other things?
No, I'm not playing that much because I'm working and but I try to go to nice tournaments like this one.
So you go to the major tournaments.
Yeah. I'm going to Cyprus later.
You're going to Cyprus, which is another very big tournament. I go there whenever I can as well.
Yeah.
So to get to this point, what was your toughest match? Did you have a big come from behind or really exciting match?
I played a couple of tough matches. Maybe the toughest opponent, I think, was Chris Trencher.
Chris Trencher?
Yeah, I think so.
And Chris will be joining me on the commentary here.
Yeah.
Very tough player.
Yeah. It was an excellent match.
So do you know your opponent? Have you played him before?
I cannot recall. I know who he is from way back, but if I played him, it must be many years ago.
Okay.
So not sure.
All right. Well, again, I wish you a lot of luck. I'm so happy to see you here. There aren't too many people that have won this twice, and you got a shot at it. And it would be exciting if you did come from behind and win.
Yeah.
I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank
you for coming
Thank
by. You do, Johan. You want to? You want to? Okay, we're bringing in John's opponent, Johan Moazed from Sweden. Johan, how are you? We know each other. Nice to see you. Talk right into the mic, please.
Sure,
Nice
yeah.
to see you again.
Good to see you.
So, tell me, you're from Switzerland.
Close. I'm from Sweden.
Sweden, I mean.
Yeah, close enough.
All you guys look the same to me.
Yeah.
You're from Sweden. Do you play with Jürgen a lot?
We used to. We started together once upon a time. He took all my money, and then I had to start playing with other people. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you play doubles a couple times with the same person, I think. Here in Monte Carlo.
In Monaco, no, I don't have a regular.
You don't have a
partner.
regular.
Yeah, maybe Cyrus. You're
Cyrus,
thinking
yeah,
about.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I do play with Cyrus.
what's your best showing here in Monaco in the past? Have you had any?
Well, I'm world champion.
Oh, I didn't know that. I forgot
Seniors.
Oh, senior. You were giving me a senior moment here. You scared me. Senior world champion.
No,
I think that's very impressive.
So I've been here like 35 years.
Yeah.
I've never made it to any money round anywhere.
Well, when I get old enough to be a senior, I hope I get to be as good as you.
Yeah, you're going to have to show them your
My
ID.
ID. I'll have to get older. Yeah. So, do you have any really tough, exciting matches along the way to get here? Anything that sticks out?
All of them have been
All of them?
difficult. Yeah, all of them.
Are you surprised at the quality and the number of players we have here? It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's really good. It's over 200 players, right, in the main.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So many.
And it's going to get even better.
Yeah, and
I
we
think
have
so.
over 200 entrants in the Open.
It's very well organized.
It is.
This year. It's going to
They've
be
done
good.
a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Well, they bring on people like me to help. That's why.
Yeah. Have you been playing?
Oh, I tried to play.
Yeah.
My claim to fame was I beat a Kiko in the first round.
Okay.
And then it was all downhill from there.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, that's enough. If you can go home and say I beat a 2-time world champion,
Yeah.
I mean that's
You're a happy bunny.
I'm happy,
Yeah.
but I'm happy just to be here. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, good luck in the match.
Thank you very much.
And
Nice to
I
see
wish you a lot of luck going forward.
Okay. Take care.
3 more matches and you're the champion.
The Backgammon Galaxy mobile app. star membership, high analysis, blunder database, private games, coin games, rating games, and much, much more.
Okay, we're getting ready for the match. Let me tell you where we're at. There are 8 players with 1 loss, and one of them will advance to play Sander Liloff for the World Championship. And on the other side, I mentioned what's on this side of the draw sheet. On the other side is Lawrence Powell and Hans Libby playing. The winner of that will play the winner of Zednik Ziska and Wilcox Snelling. And Wilcox, as you saw, lost a very exciting match to Sander in the undefeated. It's so nice to see both of them playing. 2 guys that haven't played a lot of backgammon, who are known to be among the best in the world. We've just been playing a lot of poker and doing other things. And Wilcox is living in Costa Rica, getting involved in sports betting. And of course, Sander is a famous poker player and does just about everything else. Now I'm very happy to introduce my co-commentator, my good friend Chris Trencher. And Chris himself, you were a runner-up in the at this tournament in the Super Jackpot?
The Super Jackpot in 2018. I had a nice run beating Thomas Rohn and John O'Hagan in the third and second to last round. Lost to Alfredo Unes in a tough match. Lost Alfredo Unes in a tough match in the final, but that was a great experience, and haven't been able to put together the run to get back there, but hopefully in the future. And even when you don't have a big week, it's just great to be a part of this experience. Mark Olson's done a great job bringing a larger crowd than we've ever seen here, and I think in the future we're going to have even more events. And there's lots of great backgammon tournaments around the world, but at least from my perspective, there's an energy and a buzz here that's just it's incredible.
Well, Chris, you're being a little bit modest. In addition to that, you've had a lot of other wins. I don't think very many people in the United States have won as many Masters and special jackpots events as you have, beating all the very top players. So you're really showing impressive PRs, often playing under 3 PR. You're a grandmaster, and I'm going to pretty much leave it to you. We don't have an XG feed, so when I want to know what's right, I'm going to ask Chris. Okay, the play is going on, and we have Johan up on top playing the white checkers, and so he's off to a good start, making the bar point.
Yep.
Splitting is always right, and this is a wonderful roll.
Yep.
This 2 up and 2 down is almost always right in this situation early in the game. I can see the feed on YouTube, so if you have any questions or comments, we'll try to get to them. I can't promise you we'll always get them answered. And I want to ask everybody on YouTube to please hit the like button. That helps backgammon's popularity, so please do that.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. A 6-1 for, this is pretty simple. I like going to the 2-point to have that flexibility.
So John will hopefully make his 5 here, and then he can start to, which he did not do, and then
he can make his 5.
Oh well, he not the way in which he wants to make it.
The problem is, where's the 6?
Where's the 6? So he could make the deuce. I guess he could consider bringing the 2 down from the.
I love this play.
Or just make this play.
I don't mind leaving blots that much when your opponent has a blot on their side of the board. So again, beginners don't look at both sides of the board. Yep. If he gets hit here, it's certainly not the end of the world at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's not correct for Johan to hit here because he just has no board. In fact, it's worse than no board. He's got a blot in his board.
And he's
hitting. I
don't
think I would do this.
You would make the 4-point.
I would make the 4-point.
And I'm with you on this one, but Johan is a great player.
I mean, John's thinking about doubling here. I don't think he would have thought about doubling if Johan had just played quietly, making the 4 points. So we don't have the feed, so somebody could tell us. But I'm somewhat confident that was an error to hit.
I think it's right to think about doubling. It's always right to think. It's never wrong to think, but I think it's wrong to double in this situation.
Yeah.
It's a little soon. And he's rolling. And he's happy he didn't double, although he can come in with the 3, and then you got to decide which 4 you like.
I'm hitting here.
Yeah, you either hit or cover. Now, why are you hitting, Chris? Why is that's a good decision?
It's an open position now, and clearly Johan would have some turnarounds. But look, he's not winning the race, and a fundamental rule of backgammon is the way to exploit an edge in interboard points is to hit.
And another fundamental thing
And
that
if he doesn't hit, then Johan can roll a 6 and just create an even position. And John's just got to press his edge here.
there's another major reason I hit. You have him outboarded. You have 3 innerboard points versus 1, and that screams to hit. That's one of my big hints to hit.
Yep.
I was
Let's. Okay.
a 2 would have pretty much ended this game, and this doesn't.
I like this play. I think coming out to the 20 would have been a bit
Yeah.
too loose. So.
Well, you got a lot more return shots here if you get hit too.
Yeah.
Double 3's a very fine roll, even though, well, it does hit, but it can't cover. But you can make another point.
He'll bring that guy in and make the 3-point. Yep. This is the play.
It's 3:30 day. So far we have 21 players.
Now they are playing with a clock. An 11-point match, you have 22 minutes total, but a 12-second delay. It's a chess clock, so you really have a lot of time, and that's why you'll see players thinking when there's no double. They might be counting pips. They might be thinking about their strategy, but it's really smart to use up some of your time, but always save some for the end where it gets really critical if you make a mistake.
Now, there's a question here. Does Johan want to leave that straggler outside exposed to an 8 where John will gladly hit it to make a play like this, or does he just want to play 13-7, 6-4? And I think I'm inclined to play 13-7, 6-4. I don't think he gets much.
Well, this is where we part company. You give him complete outfield control if you don't leave that blot. I really liked his play.
Okay.
And by the way, I will never bet Chris Trencher when we disagree. Right. He's just a much better player than I am.
All right, well.
This is not a fun situation, but those 2 blots and the fact that you're winning the race says race. If you're up in the race, race. That's your game plan. I love this play. Nothing could go wrong.
Yep.
So even if he hits here, there's 2 blots there. It's a very dangerous position to hit, but he didn't have much choice.
Well, at this point, the boards are equal, so Johan certainly got some good shakes here coming in, hitting, covering. This is not one of them. Now John can clearly look at a double here. Johan's got 2 more blots exposed and a blot in his own inner board, and John's going to kill him in some sequences here.
Now, here's the main reason I think this is a good double. I'm not positive whether it's a take or not, and that's Woolsey's law. If you're not sure whether you should take or not, throw the cube and let the guy have a chance at making a mistake. You can't make a mistake if you don't give the cube.
I would pass this one.
And I'm not sure. I probably would pass, but not with a lot of confidence.
I would pass this one if he...
And Chris is in agreement with Johan. Pass, 1-0. And you're passing mainly because if things really go wrong, you can get gammoned a lot. And as you may know, if you lose a gammon, you get all your checkers off before your opponent gets a checker off. You lose a double game. By the way, I'm not going to talk down too much to beginners who might be watching. If you're a beginner, I think you can pick up the game, but I'll tell you what you should do. You should go to YouTube and Google how to play backgammon, and you'll learn a lot about the game free, real easy. Then when you get a little bit better, you can take lessons from somebody good like Chris. And I give a couple lessons here and there too. So we're gonna keep this on a little higher plane. It's the World Championship. I'll stop talking about the very simple rules of the game so much.
All right, so John, I think, will come up to the 21 and make his 5-point.
I think the big reason to make the 5 is it's so stacked.
Yeah,
the 6 is so stacked.
I don't think he needs to come up all the way to the 5. What he doesn't want is for Johan to make the 4-point right in front of him while he's on the 3. Wow, what a shot. That's Johan's best.
Yeah.
Double 4s, double 5s are his 2 best. That was a huge shot.
I don't think the race is gin, though. It still may be a take.
No, I'm going to look at doubling this. Let me count this real quick. John's 42, 68, 98, 122. John's going to have 150, and Johan has 120. It's a 30-pip lead, so I think Johan's got a double here. Johan's got a double. He's got a variety of numbers to bring the midpoint down, leaving only potentially some of those involve a deuce. He'll leave the 4 numbers if he has to, and then he's got other numbers to make the 5-point in front, and either of those would make it way too good for John to take. So, to the extent that John has a take here, it's small, and Johan's got to double down.
And a 30-pip lead pretty much means that he would have to hit a shot to win this game.
Yeah.
This is what we call a pointless double. John O'Hagan wrote a great article on that. That is my Bible. And you often can double. It's pointless because he hasn't made an additional point in his board, but it still could easily be right to double in those situations.
Yeah.
And we got a pass.
In fact, we have a pass.
I like the pass here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have a 10-point match. If you haven't watched the stream before, you might find this board to be very interesting. It's an FM board made in Turkey, sold on the Backgammon Galaxy website. You ought to check out their products there. It's a beautiful board, and you can change the surface to any color you want very easily and quickly with a magnet. I don't know, something about bringing a magnet to a backgammon game I have a little problem with sometimes.
Yeah.
I hate to get caught with a magnet in my pocket at a backgammon game.
Yes. That's one of those, even the appearance of impropriety is not a good thing types.
That's right.
Yep. All right. So Johan with the early lead here, having made his 5-point, started the 9-point, and that's a slot for the 9, and also potentially a useful builder or attacker. And John has rolled what is not a good number, 4-3 here. He cannot make his 22 to defensively or hit that blot, so he comes out just to try to relieve the pressure. And let's see what Johan does here. He doesn't hit the blot, but he rolls 6-2 to make the bar, which is a nice number.
I'd have been tempted to hit with that 4-3, hit off the 2-point.
And even now, just in a few rolls, we see how the structure of this is. The game is coming together. John has, an okay but not very robust blocking structure, but he has only 1 man back, and Johan has 2, and so the game's going to come down to whether John can extricate that back checker before Johan, makes his forward structure even more formidable. And I saw that 3, and my first thought was that John would be coming up. Of course, with 3-1, he'll make the 5-point, but John really needs to roll a small number here that gets him to the 21 or the 22, and he does exactly that. So I think he will. Well, he has 2 choices of play here. He can switch from the 10-point to the bar and then play 13-7, so we'll have 3 checkers on the bar, or he can come up to the 21, in which case he'll probably bring the 3 checkers down to the 10, though he could switch to the bar and play 6-3, but we really don't want to move a spare behind our opponent's anchor.
Chris, you wouldn't consider 18-13 twice? That's on my list.
Which one?
18-13 twice. That's on my list. Making the bar point from the 18 with 2 checkers.
Oh, and leaving the blot on the
Yes.
midpoint.
You wouldn't consider that? That's on my list.
I don't think so, because if you get that second checker hit, it's a big problem, and I think our blockade is robust enough. We need to do something to try and get that back checker moving before Johan, because what Johan's going to do if he doesn't roll a good number to make the 4-point is he's going to bring those 2 guys down from the midpoint, and it's a problem for John if those 2 spares are brought down to the 7 or elsewhere in the outfield where he can then use high numbers to make the 4. Okay, so John does elect to keep his entire structure and move the spare behind and come up, and here Johan rolls a great number.
You say a great number. There were quite a few great numbers. That wasn't a joker. He had plenty of pointing numbers there.
Yeah.
He had 9 pointing numbers at least.
Yeah.
And here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16, about 15 pointing numbers. There's 36 rolls, so 15's in the 40% range. And of course, any 5 hits.
Johan's got to double this. If he were to make the point, John's got a lot of awkward entering numbers, particularly if he makes the point and then John enters with a 5, he's going to have to expose another blot because he can't pick up the blot on the 9-point. And even if he hits loose, John may enter awkwardly.
And if he hits loose and gets hit back, he's got an anchor.
This guy's got plenty of
He's got an
game.
anchor. He's got a fallback.
He's got plenty of game. There's just way too many devastating sequences for Johan not to double this, and I'm not even at all confident that it's a take.
I'm taking.
You're taking. I'm not saying it's not a small take, but
Yeah.
to me, I'm insta doubling this.
I
Because it's
agree.
not at all clear that John has a take here.
I agree.
Because John will lose a lot of gammons when things go badly here.
Take it down a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't been looking at this. See, previous cube was a correct pass by a margin of 0.32. Thank you, Hans. Seems to be timid to pass this one. No, I agree. I agree it was a take.
So now the question is, do we hit and play 8-4, or do we point on the 3-point?
I point on the 3-point. Oh, he's not. I make the 3-point. A point made is something that rhymes with that. Okay. Point cleared is a point not to be feared, but I don't know what
Yeah.
a point made is.
I like this. I like this play. I
Me
mean,
too. That's my play.
He's got the 16 fans. 1-5 is a disaster. That's worse than a fan.
Yeah, and even if he comes in, if you can roll a 6 and make a 5 prime, that's 5 primes are big.
All right.
Makes the
Now
ace
we need to
point.
make the ace point. There's
Yeah.
nothing else that improves his position.
5 is big. If he 2 is big for him, and 5's uh-oh. I'm not lifting.
I am lifting.
You are lifting.
I don't want to get hit on 2-5 in particular because that would otherwise leave a double
but
shot.
now you get hit with 2-1.
I understand that, but then he's still in your board,
But
and he doesn't clean up.
okay, but and you don't have the point slotted that you want. That one I'm at the study, Chris. He agreed with you, but I didn't see it. I like 6-3 here.
I do too. You've still got the ace shot if he rolls 2-6.
Or 2-5.
Right. And again, I don't want to hit with 2-5 because 5s play horribly on his side of the board.
I don't see the logic of coming
Because
in.
he can't safety the blot with the 5. So I don't want to give him a good 2-5 in the same way that
Yeah.
if I'm going to give him a good 2, I'd rather not be 2-5.
Ah, look at that. He's rewarded for staying out there. The 2-6, he's either got to come out and leave two blots, or he's got to clean up the blot and leave a double shot plus an indirect inside. I'm coming out. I don't want to get hit or pointed out on the 2-point, because then it's curtains. You coming out or coming in? Oh, came in. I would have come out.
I would have studied it a little bit longer.
Yeah. Now you have to switch points. Or at least hit loose, but because of where the checkers go, I'm switching. I don't like this. Okay.
Well, there's a little bit of value to a 4 prime. He has to expose. If he rolls 2-3 or 2-4, he has to expose on the outside. But you could very well be right. All right. Nice shot.
Yeah. Johan was very unlucky in this sequence not to be able to come out sooner and get to this position. But he could end up being very lucky
All right.
anyway.
Now he'll break the 6-point with a 4 or the 5-point with a 3 if he needs to cover when he rolls the ace.
Yeah. I told you this was a drop, didn't I? No, that was you. I forget. I get mixed up between us because we look alike so much. It's ugly, but it's me. He needs to roll a 1, 2, or 3, not to leave a blot or doubles. There it is. There are some gammons here, even with one checker on the bar, with all those checkers in the outfield.
Oh, there's a lot of gammons
There's
here.
a lot of gammons here.
We have 8 crossovers. I think with one checker closed out, 6 crossovers, and around 20 pips is the 50% point. And here we have 8 crossovers and just about 20 pips. So, and now Johan has taken off 2 checkers before opening his board. So I think Johan's well over 50% here, probably closer to 60%. But now John is in, so this is going to be very close.
In answer to Thomas Tenlin, the winner of this game has to win one more match, and then he gets in the finals. So he has to win this match, one more, and then you're in the finals. The winner of this will play the winner of
All right.
the bottom bracket. There's 8 players left.
All right, John has 9 crossovers to get over, and Johan has 8 here if he doesn't miss with a 4. Okay. John still 7 crossovers.
I'm sorry, there's 8 players left. You have to win
All right.
2 more matches. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an 8-player field to get to the finals.
All right. John now is will save if good position to save if Johan misses with a 4, 3, or 2 here, but he gets off.
Got to have doubles.
And now John needs 3s, 4s,
it.
5s, or 6s.
That's it. Never should have taken that cube. Only an idiot would. Oh, I would have taken that cube, I think. In fact, I know I would have. Again, it'd be nice to have the XG feed. But I have Chris Trencher, who.
But then we're not going to make any wrong comments.
No, but Chris Trencher says he's dropping that cube, and look what happened.
Well, but it looked like they said it was a huge take.
Oh, did they say that?
Somebody out there watching confirm that John had a take there.
I don't see anyone saying. I don't think see.
No,
anyone-
Hans says the take was huge there.
Oh, okay. I think that was the previous cube, but we'll see. Okay.
Okay. 6-2. All right. So John opens with a 6-2. For some of you who are intermediates, as you know, oftentimes an opening 6 gives you a choice of running all the way with the back checker or coming out to the opponent's bar and playing down. 6-2 is the one number that you really, it's quite suboptimal to run all the way, and you prefer to come down from the midpoint with the other half of the roll. With 6-3, 6-4, it's more of an optional close choice type of play.
Does the score have anything to do with those plays? I think it does. If I'm way ahead in the match or way behind in the match, it's more gammon go and gammon save play, and I want more contact when I'm behind, and I want to do more running when I'm ahead. Play for less contact. So I think that does. I think if you put in an XG, you'll see that will make a difference even on 6-2. I could be wrong though. Oops. And in my chouette, if you do that and you're in the box, you win a point from everybody. We reward the guy that got jokered, anti-joker.
All right. So John's down. He's looking for early doubles, but I think this is a bit too soon. He'll hit with the 3 here, and he can either make the 22 or bring some more wood down to the 11 point. I don't mind this. I think these plays are close. I don't think there's any urgency to anchor up, but it's certainly reasonable.
Well, Thomas confirmed what I said. Thomas Tenlin confirmed what I said about the 6-2, but he also agreed it's close. But it is very important when you're losing to be more aggressive, and when you're winning, even on the opening roll, to play for high anchors and play for less gammonish type games, more like a running game. There's an interesting thing. You almost always would rather have the 2 point than the 1 point. Except when you get maybe down to the very end, you'll get more shots off the 1 point, but you get gammoned a lot less off the 2 point. You cover more of the outfield. It's harder to get primed, and lots of players don't make that switch. This looks like a hit or a bar point, and I'm leaning towards the bar point. What about you, Chris?
I'm leaning towards the bar point too. You know, going from a third, when you have your opponent has 3 checkers in your board, hitting a 4th doesn't add as much incremental value as hitting in other situations. Here John's got a nice early edge. He's made his 5 point. Johan really hasn't accomplished anything on his side of the board, and by making the bar, he locks in a structural edge, and Johan, and he's then in position to improve either the front or the back of the prime, and Johan's not really set up to do anything offensively. I certainly don't think that this is a big error, if it's an error at all, but I would have leaned to making the bar there.
Well, again, hitting does lead to more gammons, and when you're behind, you start thinking more about what's going to win more gammons. That may be the reason for the play. And his play might be right at the score, may be wrong if he was leading. That's one of the things that I find so fascinating about match play over unlimited or money games.
So
Even the checker plays changed on the opening roll based on the score. I love it.
I think that's fine. I would have I like that, either that one or 16-15. I wouldn't have played up his board. All right.
I think that play is forced. You want to make that high anchor for sure, and you love your 5 point. Pretty easy.
So this one's an easy play. Swing the 5 across and make the 10 point. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. I would have hit there and hoped the guy doesn't catch my illegal move. We're not playing legal moves here, but I think most of the top players agree to play it like legal moves. They prefer to play that way. But
yeah, when you're playing people you know, your countrymen and people you know anyway from previous tournaments, it's always best, in my opinion, just to agree to play legal moves. I think the situation comes in when you're playing a stranger that you don't know, and then they make it a legal move that's to your favor. The first instinct is to correct that, but then you don't know for sure, if you don't know them at all, whether they would have done that for you, and that's where the situation could get a little messy.
Yeah,
but I just give people the benefit of the doubt. If they make it a legal move, whether it's their favor or my favor, I'll just point it out and ask them to make a legal move.
20 years ago, I wouldn't have given that many people the benefit of the doubt. I think the game was much less ethical then than it is now. I see very, very, very little foul play, cheating, you might call it, or questionable ethics at these tournaments. It's really, thanks to very strict and good tournament directors and the example by people like Monte to be good sportsmen and gentlemen. This game has really come up tremendously. I love it. I love it.
I like this double here. John's down. He's got some attacking chances. He needs to go after the blot on the 3-point hard now because he's moved up enough in the race that if Johan reestablishes that point, he's going to have some decent timing for the game. So I'm hitting here from the back, 11-3, just like that.
Did you like the take?
I did, yeah.
Me too. I like both actions.
Yeah.
I agree. And
right.
one of the biggest faults that people make when they're leading is they get too timid, drop everything, which is just as bad as being too aggressive when you're down.
Yeah. And now, even if Johan does ultimately make the ace point, an ace-4 game is much more perilous than a 3-4 game, and will lead to more gammons for John.
Do you make the 9 here, or do you do this?
I do this.
Okay.
This brings another checker to bear on the ace, and we do want to move that straggler up just so we don't have an accident from a double 4s at the appropriate time.
Okay.
So now he's just gonna play 13-9, I think, for lack of anything else.
Well, there is anything else.
Well, he could. I mean, he could. He doesn't really need the 8 point anymore. He could break it and play 8-5, 8-7, but I don't think that's right.
Could have also played the 3 down and 6 to 5.
Yeah.
I don't see a big difference, but some people will. You look at what numbers could duplicate.
All right. Now John just wants to roll an 8, 9, or 12, or 7, 8, or 12. He did not roll a 7, 8, or 12.
Yeah, that's your fault because you said 9.
Yeah, I gave him the wrong advice. Yeah.
Gave him the wrong advice. Be a bad doubles partner if you do that.
Yep. All right. He wants an 8, 4, or 12.
Or maybe double 3s.
Oh, not that 12. Not that 12.
Double 3s would cover if you cheat.
Right. So now I'll just make the bar.
Yep.
And Johan really needs to come up with an ace here to keep this game interesting. Gets the 4, but not the ace.
Wow.
Wow.
You switch? Do you cover the ace with a switch? I know I would if Johann's board was better. With this board, I'm not sure I want the switch. He does.
I think I would do this because if he comes in on the if he comes in on the 4, it makes no difference if we bring that last checker home. And if he comes in on the deuce, we may have a chance to attack the checker again. You just want to keep this simple, and Johann has just enough structure that if he gets hit there, it could be messy getting home.
I like the switch too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now just bring it in, and the way this played out with Johann rolling the 4, it's not going to make much difference.
Okay, think of the number 4. That's the key number here that he wants to avoid. John doesn't want to roll a 4.
All right. And
anything but a 4, he breaks that back point.
And Johann at this point correctly understands that he is unlikely to get a shot, and so he is prioritizing moving checkers around to get off the gammon, but putting them in his outfield so he can build the prime from the back if he is lucky enough to get a shot. But I wouldn't be spending things like a deuce slotting the 4 point. You can build up your prime and try to save the gammon at the same time. Okay.
I like making the 2. Because I like keeping the checkers even, so that double 6s. That's about the only thing that can really hurt you if you come off the 6 point. See, now double 6s is gonna. Whoop! There's a way double 6s doesn't hurt you. It just looks funny to me. I don't know why. That looks very funny to me.
Yeah, it's a little stripped, and now if you roll 5-3, you have to clear the 6 point, which increases your jeopardy a little bit on the following roll.
You're so much faster than me, Chris. I knew there was something I didn't like, and it was the 5. It's the 5-3, and lots of 3s are.
So Johann is 4.
All 3s are bad. See, 5-3. Who would have thought of that? I would never have thought that that's a roll that you would care about here.
So now he is more likely to get a shot, and he's thinking about whether he's saving this gammon anyway, and do I just make my 4 point now because I want to put myself in a position that I have an easy recube if I'm fortunate enough to get a shot here, and John now has 6-1, 6-3, 5-1, 5-3 to leave a shot, so there's 8 hitters.
I'm playing to get off the gammon because I'm winning 5-1, and I'm more sensitive and really don't want him to gammon me, so I would make this play. I wouldn't throw any checkers inside deeper than the 6 or 5 point and waste pips.
Well, he's down to 12 crossovers to bear a checker off, and John has now 15 crossovers, of course, so it's still relatively close. So I think Johann is likely to save, but the gammons are probably at about the 25 to 30% range, I would guess.
You peel here or not? Oh, I'm sorry. 6-3 for white. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm used to playing with the baffle box. Okay, I peel here. That was the right play.
Right.
Wasting no pips.
At this point, just put him in.
Yeah, I would put it in too, but
Yeah.
yeah, you have to get a 1 shot. You have to hit it.
Well, John is going to play unofficially here, so he has to. So now he has 11 crossovers. So John is off at 6. And Johann has
5.
6 total crossovers. So Johann should save this, but it could be dangerously close. So now he's in good shape. It's off in 2 rolls, most variations.
Yeah, that was strange, but I guess it
Yep.
counts.
It's playing for double.
John correctly plays to make double 2s work to save
Right.
a roll for him. And now
If he rolls a 1, it didn't matter.
Johann's going to save unless he rolls many double 4s here.
And you said it out loud. Gonna happen now.
All
See?
right. There we
Okay. All right, we got a little closer match now. I think that's important they should do that for my sake, so I have a more exciting match to watch. It's all about me. They're taking a break.
Okay, yeah, folks.
Johann?
It looks like they're taking a short break.
Wish we had an XG feed.
We saw Johann out.
Nej, ja. Titta här, det är helt fint. Vi bara titta och vi kommenterar. Nej.
Here's John looking for
That's
somebody.
that's Johan behind
Johan,
us. But
yeah.
I did not do enough studying of other languages when I was in school, so I cannot tell you what they're saying.
He's saying that it's too late to go make a bet on the match, honey, but there's a guy, Morton Holm, over there who will give you some odds if you still want to bet on this match. And by the way, he would. There's nothing that Martin Holm wouldn't bet with the right odds.
Yep. Well, Morton is kind of the it's not a well-developed book for backgammon betting, obviously, and so Morton's prices are not overly generous if you want to bet on a certain thing. But he has a very undiversified book, and it's not clear that he could lay off the action, which is what the normal procedure is, and
right.
so that gets reflected in the prices.
He's entitled.
He's entitled. Yeah.
He's entitled.
If you don't like the price, you don't have to bet. But if you decide you want to bet, you just want to have the action, Morton will take it for you.
Yeah, and Morton has worked hard. He doesn't just say, I think this guy's really good, I'm going to make these odds. He looks at every match the guy's likely to play and who he's playing before he comes up with those odds. And they're kind of interesting, and he's not far off. I think he's at the beginning he had Sander picked as one of the better players. Isn't that an amazing guess?
That is an educated guess, a very well informed and communicated guess.
Yeah, and he lowered the odds on Wilcox and Victor because he saw that they were playing each other in the first round.
Yeah.
So that really helps when you're setting the odds.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Victor's had some tough draws. So I just want to say thank you all for watching. I see we have 100 people watching, but only 2 likes. So if you are enjoying this stream, watching these players, and or enjoying the commentary, if you guys could be sure to hit that like button, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, that does help the game of backgammon. More people on the search get to backgammon.
We're all of us here playing, and all of you guys watching, have a common interest in promoting the game. So go ahead and smash that like button. Let us know. Let us know you.
And if anybody has any recommendations for Chris, other than wearing just a plain, boring white shirt, anything about how he should be dressed for this, you need to be colorful. You're a colorful person. Just I don't know who else dresses more colorfully, but maybe look at some other people for an example. But that plain white, I'll tell you one reason I don't wear plain white. It doesn't stay that way for very long, especially if I eat.
Now, Phil, is this the point at which I tell them that your girlfriend helped you pick out those clothes, or I should not say that?
Help me. She threw out all my clothes one day, and she said, we're going shopping. I had no choice unless I wanted to go naked.
Oh, all right. So yeah, so I am guilty of being fond of white shirts, and I have many of them. You want to come on for a second? Do a little quick interview. You want to say hello while you're here?
I just wanted to sit here and listen to you guys.
All right.
They don't want 3 people talking.
Right, so, pretend I'm not here.
Okay.
I just want to listen to you.
Wait a minute. Wait a second.
So I was maybe pretending to be on here.
Jonah Seawald sat down next to me and says, pretend I'm not here. That's like having a huge shark with his teeth baring at you saying, just ignore me, I'm not here.
Well, Jonah, you guys in the U.S. know Jonah's pretty charming and he's funny, and
Oh, I love
if
Jonah.
If he wants us not to notice him, he's gonna have to sit there and be awfully quiet. And I don't know what price Morton would have on that, but I would take the no.
Oh, I love this comment. Great commentary. Make backgammon great again. Bill Rouse loves that comment too.
Yeah.
It's great. Backaholic. He likes back games. He's like an alcoholic for back games.
All right.
All right, here we go.
All right,
Back to the
backaholic. You know that back games generally aren't a winning proposition. You take them when they come to you, and you have to play them. All right.
Good comment.
So we had
okay. Double six.
5-1, 6-1.
Not exactly the role you want right now.
No. But it's not with Fortunately for John, Johan had split his back checker, so he's using this the only way he can, which is to blitz, and he'll have a double if Johan whiffs here.
He'll have a double, and I think you'll have a take.
Yeah, this is a double to take, but there's too many market losing sequences not to double this. And
Yeah.
If Johan had made his 5 or 4 point, I would be much more hesitant to double this.
Oh, he
but
passed it
He
quickly.
passes. Wow.
He passed it quickly. Is that a score thing? Is that
No, I think he just
thinks
didn't
that-
like the position.
Uh-huh.
I think that had to be a take, but somebody out there could check that for us.
well? You and I were taking, so
Yeah.
how can we be wrong if we both feel that way? It's just
Very easily.
couldn't be possible. Couldn't be possible. Okay. One of the comments says, wasn't that
All
a
right.
take? Of course, we thought it was a take. We'll see. He dropped it pretty quickly. It's gammonish. If things go wrong, you get gamble
All
out
right.
there.
Another nice number for John.
Yeah, and you hit outside, put a second checker up. There
Yep.
you go.
Okay.
One of your best numbers. If you have extreme gammon, you could hit the button that says dice distribution. You'll see how good a bad a roll it is, and you'll also see how to play it. I love this double. You've got a point made. You've got checker on the bar. He's got, this is one of those David Presser situations where I learned from him to use Pratt, position, race, and threats. And all three,
gotta take.
all three favor.
With the anchor, though, we could take.
Yeah, but all three favor John.
Yep, he does.
So that's for sure
Wow.
a double. I love
Great
it.
number by John, obviously.
Yeah. I love that double.
And now he has a very, very strong.
Well, now he
Open
would have
position.
lost his market.
He would have
maybe.
lost his market. But there was only 1-1, 3-1, maybe 5-3, 5-5. There weren't a lot of market
But when
losers
you
there.
lose it, you lose it
Yeah,
big.
you lose a bit.
Part of O'Hagan's law is you measure how bad the market loser is as well as how many you have. You have to look at both things. Unfortunately, the game is just not that simple where you can just say, I need 9 market losers. You need to weigh that.
Interesting. John played that quickly. He could have left the blot on the bar to try to make it, but I guess he figured he was so in control of the position he didn't want to give up any momentum. Nice shot. He'll bring 3 down and then swing the straggler around to the 10 point. He could bring it into the 4, but I bring it down. Yeah. Now we're ready to clear the midpoint, and Johan will make his board and hope that this becomes something more than an ace point game for him. And now it will most likely become an ace point game.
And again, if you roll a 2-1 here or a double 1, you should absolutely switch up and make it a 2-point game. You get gammoned a lot less from there, about half as much. And lots of people miss that play.
Yeah. So John can clear the midpoint, leave the 2-6, or he could just play 10-3.
Or you can make he can make a 6 prime too, but he has to.
Oh,
make
no,
a
that's
shot
right.
to
He can
do
make the
that.
6 prime. Sure, I didn't even see that. Yeah. Duh. And-
Okay, the 6-6 rollout, Hans says we were right. It's a 1-1-9 blunder to pass. So here's the case that Chris and Phil were right. Wow, let's not let it go to our heads, though.
I promise we'll not go to hands. We'll.
Okay.
And Hans, again, thank you for confirming the XG for us. We
Big
we are, just so everybody knows, we are not looking at the XG feed here. So
I don't fault him for passing,
so-
but I do fault him for passing fast.
when we make correct assertions, they are truly correct, and when we make wrong ones, which will happen frequently. Say la vie.
Yeah. Please don't post anything when we're wrong, just
Yeah.
when we're right.
Yeah.
But again, I thought he made that decision very, very quickly. And, if you make a quick decision and it's wrong and it's by a little bit, that's okay. But if you make a quick decision and it's wrong by a lot, there's a lesson there. Don't make such quick decisions.
So for those of you beginner and intermediates, you might have said, why didn't John just slot the point there with 6 play 2 of them from the 6 to the deuce because he has a 6 prime? The answer is that Johan already has a 3-point prime, and he's got those 3 checkers back on the midpoint, and so John had a little bit of concern, justifiably, that if he got hit, he could run into some trouble getting out, and Johan could counter prime him, and so that's why he lined up his builders to try to make the
I
point
bring this
naturally.
2 in here. I was going to say this is important to know
Yeah.
that play. Very few intermediates who make
Oh
that play.
my God, Johan
But
rolled
the
the 1-6.
The guy's never going to roll
Now
a
we have a
1-6.
brand new game.
The guy's never going to roll a 1-6, so you should give him that shot. It never happens.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
Now-
it's much worse.
Now John's got to hit him and build the prime from the outside.
I
So he can make the 3, or he can he can if he makes that point, there's a big swing on 1-6, but I don't think it's enough to give it up. John's just hoping, Johan's just hoping rather that he can.
I like making the
He can pick it with the blot on
I like making the 3-point here. I just think when you get the shot, it's so much bigger.
Yep.
Not a good roll. You can't get by. 16 numbers don't get by when you're 6 away. This is one of them. But if you come closer, you're only giving him 2s instead of 6s, but you're also giving him the indirect, the 7.
Well, you're not going to break your board, so one of them is forced.
I think you have to come up closer because when you don't get hit, you're more likely to get home. I think that's the key issue
He's just
here.
got to go all the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Play 6-2. I mean, that's all
agree.
there is.
He hit him. That's big.
Wow.
That's very big to hit him.
And John is in big trouble now.
He's got some bad 4s too.
Johan can just slot the bar point here if he doesn't make it naturally, and he'll claim next roll.
I've learned not to slot the bar point against the 4 prime. I really don't. I very seldom would slot the bar here.
Well, then he should make the play he's about to make, which
Right.
is real fourth builder on it.
If you were at my lecture 2 days ago, it said don't do it on a 4 prime. I guess the 5
Especially
prime.
when he's got these bad entries here.
Yeah, now I like the recube here. 4s and 5s hit. Lots of numbers make the bar. I love the recube here because again, it's a tough take. But what's wrong with stopping and thinking about it? I like that. What would you do, everybody? Do you take or pass here? Do you double? I would double.
I'm studying this for a while and thinking about it.
He did not double.
I would not double. All right, so
So you-
make the 8-point.
Yeah, now that was a bad roll, and I still like his position pretty much, but of course that's not the roll he wanted. He wanted to hit.
Well, the problem is now John will safety the blot, and he'll just take that all the way to the deuce point. He wants to keep a 3, and now he's threatening to come out with a 5, and you just got to go after that checker.
Well, you're hitting loose if it's one of the outside checkers.
Yep.
Or the inside checker, that's right. Now the 2, I do not break the 8-point here. That's still
No.
very valuable. A lot of people would do that to get the double builder.
No, you move one of the outside guys. That
right.
That 8-point is your 5th point and your 5 prime if he rolls a deuce.
Right. He's counting the number of rolls that cover with which of those 2 checkers he would move.
I might bring it down 13 to 11 because then you've got 5s and 4s and 1s working on the bar, so you get some other numbers working for you besides the 6. Okay. All right. This is a redouble. It's got to be.
He didn't think very long about it.
I'm surprised he didn't redouble that. Make the 6. He had the 6. He had some numbers to make the bar. As it turns out, he's fortunate he didn't because he rolled a bad number. Again, I'm redoubling now.
Absolutely. He's got no checkers off. It's a redouble. I think it's a pass. I think it's a redouble pass. And if I think my opponent's passing, I'm sure going to get
I would have
you.
redoubled last roll. Now I think it's even clearer.
So, Woolsey's Law, you ask if you would take or pass. I would pass. But even if you're not quite sure, it's a double. If you're not quite sure you would take or pass, it's a double. He is rolling on. You can't possibly think he's too good. I did not like
All right,
this
so
roll.
I moved them both out. If he rolls a 2, we do not want to expose ourselves to double hits in the 2-2 super joker. And yeah, this looks fine. I think the important part of this play is I'm not leaving one checker behind on the ace point to hope to win a gammon, get hit and win a gammon. I'm bringing them both out so I don't expose myself to the double hits.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't slot here because there's going to be some hitting action, but he does.
It does.
I'm s-
I don't know why he would double now. I think it's a less strong position than when he was on the
he
roof.
got weaker. This is weaker
Yeah,
than where he was before.
now you run the risk that you can't cover and hit him loose or make the ace point, and you're exposed to him rolling a 6 next time. So
You're assuming it's a take, though. That doesn't happen if he drops.
Yeah, I would drop this, but
Then none of that stuff
no,
happens.
well, that's correct. My point is just that it's a less strong double
Yeah,
than it would have
it's
been
not.
last roll.
We agree. We agree. He got to a weaker position in double. Maybe he's trying to weaver him.
And I think that's essentially the comment that Thomas Tenlin's making.
What's that?
Did he get weaker?
Did he get weaker?
The answer is no. The answer is yes. He did get weaker.
Which is
So I don't know if I don't know if he sees the position differently, or he was playing on before. But I don't know why you would play on before. There's not a great chance of getting a second checker here.
Maybe he took lessons from Tom Weaver, the fellow from Dallas who invented the idea of not doubling when he has a drop and let him tease him a little bit and then double him, which is a really great strategy if you like to lose money or matches. So you're not taking this.
I'm not taking this.
Thomas Tenlin, are you taking this? Tom's one is watching, and I'm very happy to see him there because he certainly is one of the top players in the world. He's proven it by being a grandmaster. I think Grandmaster 1, I believe. So if you drop,
Are you taking this, Phil?
am I taking that after you told me I shouldn't? You think I'm an idiot? I know the two most important words in backgammon because I play lots of chouette. Me too. Whatever the really top player says, me too. So Hans says XG says it's a take. Thomas Tenlin says I would drop. Wow. And if XG says it's a take, and
Then it's a take.
no, not if Thomas says it's a pass. Then you got to roll it out. And it's got, and it was probably is very, very small. And the score is a factor, of course, is what Thomas adds. I was doing a me too here. 132.
Wow,
take.
132 take. All right.
Wow, according to plus plus. And plus plus is pretty good in these positions. I would roll it out if it was more of a back game or containment game, but that's pretty good. It's a take. Wow. I was passing anyway. I don't, now that I know the answer, I'm willing to admit that I would pass.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
would have passed.
Yeah. And anybody who thinks that I'm really horrible, I'll give you my address and we'll play. Not anybody, by the way. Hi. He passed. If Thomas Tenlin's passing this, I'm not embarrassed to be in that camp, but I certainly would have passed. Well, you have the benefit later on when you look at the XG to roll it out and get a much more definitive answer. Plus plus is pretty good, though. And if it showed it as a big take, it probably was. That's a hard take, though. That's a scary, scary hard take. So, you don't always win by making the right plays. We just did commentary. Steve Sachs and I just did commentary on a match, John O'Hagan and Jurgen Gronstedt. John played at 1.25 and lost. And, of course, Jurgen didn't play badly. He played 3.5. But there is some dice involved in this game. There is luck. That's what makes it fun. That's what gives me a chance. Somebody said XG usually gets fantastic luck. Absolutely. All good players get fantastic luck because they play better. Hey, we're up to how many likes? 2? Come on, guys, like our channel. Please hit the like button. I'll give $100,000 to the 185th person that hits like within the next minute. But you have to take my check. Okay, let's go. It's not an easy play. That's probably why we're not talking. I'm not sure what you do here. He's got the whole thing from here? Why isn't it 5 down in slot? Oh, he played it. Okay. I'm back in the game. Okay. You're losing now. 7 away, 4 away, which I wish the scorecard would say, and I want that, but the tournament directors won't let me do it. I actually made my own scorecard that had away scores on it. That's the way this game should be scored. So
Johan is thinking about a double
Yep,
here. Wow,
he did.
this is
This is very aggressive.
this is an aggressive double,
Especially when you're winning.
at a score which the leader doesn't give any loose doubles. Remember.
I don't.
Remember one thing to remember: the only score at which the leader will double more aggressively than a cash is 4 away, 5 away, and here we are 4 away, 7 away. So I don't think it's a horrible double, but I suspect this would show as a small error on XG.
I disagree with you. I think it's a horrible double.
You think it's a horrible double?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. For one huge reason, it's such a damn easy take. One of the reasons you wait on cubes is to make you want a cube when it's at least a difficult decision for your opponent. That was such a no-brainer. I don't like to give my opponent no-brainers. It was a minus 168 error to double. That's
That's
a
pretty
double blunder. That's pretty bad. Maybe he had the score reversed. The score was reversed. It might have been a double. Even then, I wasn't sure. It's still too easy to take. We don't play dice on the checkers here. 6-1.
Oh,
Well, I think what do you have here besides 13 to 6?
nothing.
I do this quickly. 13-6. $52. You make the 8? I don't think you do leave the shot. I bring 2 down. I don't think it's horrible at all to make the 8, but I think I would have brought 2 down. Starting to look like a very good double, isn't
This
it?
is okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he'll hit and then
I can't find.
he might as well hit that guy
Yeah.
and come to the 9 point because at least then Johan will crack with double 4s.
I can't find a good argument not to hit. I
Yeah.
just can't find one.
Yeah.
If he had a good safe play, maybe you
Yeah.
want to try not to get gammoned. I didn't see a safe play there.
No. No.
So mix it up a little bit.
And
Uh oh.
Johan rolled another
You
nice
don't
number.
want to see. What a beautiful double that was, huh?
So I think Johan should take the checker off the 21 point, not leave himself exposed to a lucky double once or 3-2 followed by a hit or something like that, and then he'd keep the checker back on the 24 for a little bit because that's the guy that will have the most coverage in case John enters with an awkward number like a 1-5 or a 1-6, because he would like to hit another checker to up his gammon chances. Johan would like to hit another checker to up his gammon chances here. I think he could stay back because he can play double 5s comfortably. So just it's not a big deal. I think I would have played 15-12 here to stay back one more roll in case John comes in with a number like this.
Like this, yeah. It would have been another checker.
Yeah, this is why I would have played 15-12 for Johan last roll.
Uh huh. Looks like Zednik won. Yeah, looks like Zednik beat Wilcox. Holy cow, that's I wouldn't call that an upset because Zednik is a hell of a player. But they certainly seem to be celebrating and hugging.
Apparently there was an A cube for the bear
Yeah,
off.
an 8 cube in the bear off, and Zednik beat Wilcox. Wow. Great, he's a great kid. Talk about a good sport, a good sportsman. I'm happy for him. And I like Wilcox too. Wilcox, in recent years, I've gotten to know him well. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, not just as a player. He's freely willing to give me advice and tell me why he's doing things. He posts on my Facebook page all the time.
Yep.
And he shares his information. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant with numbers. He's up there with Joe Russell and Art Benjamin and Jake Jacobs and some of my superheroes when it comes to the numbers. Morton Holm. Okay, back to this match. Is this unnecessary roughness? That's what I
No,
like.
I would hit him.
You would.
I would hit him. I think you're going to win more gammons this way. If you let that guy jump into the outfield with a 6 and he escapes, it's going to cost you a lot of gammons. If he rolls a 2, that's going to cost you some gammons.
And I certainly I stepped up with that too right away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So you like to hit?
I would have hit with the 4-1. Yeah. I think John was entitled to take some small risks to stop a 2 or a 6 there, because John's going to save some gammons now that he would have lost. And if maybe John re-enters with an ace and he keeps moving and then he buries all of his checkers. And if he enters with the 3, he doesn't cover the blots. There's a lot of ways you can pick up more checkers. So
those 2 blots in the inner board.
The 2 blots in the inner board
were
very tasty, and that's what drove the decision. So I would have hit with the 4-1.
I'm with you.
Somebody could tell us whether that was right.
Somebody asked who's commentating. Phil Simborg is the guy that talked about Facebook and numbers, and sitting next to me is my good friend and great player commentator, Chris Trencher. And if you want to get a good picture of me, go to a post office.
And go for the gammon. Let's take them off.
Especially with that board.
With that board, let's.
Yeah.
At
Again,
2-1. At 2-1 is a great shot. Just take
again,
them
if
off.
the other side, the other board is really, really strong, then you get a little bit more safety. But you need to look at both sides of the table. I don't waste the. Well, I don't know. Is he going to get off the gammon racing? Is he going to have to get a shot? You're so good at that, Chris. You count the crossovers and figure that out as well as anybody I know.
50 pips and 11 crossovers. 53 pips and 11 crossovers to get off. Johan has got 45 pips and 12 crossovers. This is reasonably close, so I think Johan's justified in playing aggressively here, especially because at the point at which he gets hit, if John hasn't been building up his board, he won't have the board to guarantee a win when he gets hit. So
it's kind of nice to win a gammon here because it wins the match.
Now the issue he's thinking about is if he peels here, then he exposes himself to a double shot with 6-3, and all of his 3s are bad in general. So this is actually a tough play.
I'm still good.
You will definitely cost yourself a few wins in getting hit here if you peel.
I peel, and if I roll a 6-3, I call cock dice real fast, pick them up, and roll again. I learned that trick in Chicago from a whole bunch of people that I played there in the old days. 6-3 is the only roll, isn't it?
6-3 is the only roll.
For 2 rolls out of 36, I would peel.
Somebody out there want to tell us what's right with that 4-2. That was an interesting one. Johan's 4-2.
Clear the 6 is right by 69. You were right.
Well, yeah, that's the 6-3. With 6-3 is a double shot, it just becomes too
that
dangerous.
One number
I know.
giving the double shot makes the difference.
Well, with two blots, John has a much easier path to winning the game. If he hits the first shot.
Wow. I certainly would have gotten that wrong.
Now,
obviously, you don't want to leave a shot.
All right,
So it has to be right. It's real close.
Now if he gets hit, it's a 1 bob variation. He has 8 or 9 checkers off.
Yeah, this is
And
close.
John still hasn't built this board.
Well, you could make the 4 point here, but you're wasting pips. I don't think you waste a single pip here. And he agrees with me. Although
If you just want to build the game, you can play 13-9, 9-7, because there may be another ace. That's clearly better than the.
Yeah.
That's
8-7.
That's going to save 8-7. That's going to save the most gammons.
Absolutely. I peel. You could hit pick and pass.
He could pick and pass
Pick
here
and
because he's
pass.
even.
Pick and
There's a
pass.
chance that John fans, and if he comes in, if you don't roll a 3, you're still on 4 rolls, and you've cost him 3 pips. And
Remember that being even is not as good as you think it is if you have a gap, because if he rolls it, that odd even idea does get diluted a little bit when you have a gap. So I think
right, but I'm saying if John comes in behind him, then Johan can get off at 4 rolls if he doesn't roll a 3 on the next shake. And if he fans, then you're picking up a whole roll.
I would appeal. Here we disagree again. That's a great roll. That is a great roll to get off the gammon. 2 off is right by .051. All right, that's one that I was right where Chris was wrong. Remember that, everybody. Let's forget all the other plays. Just remember that one.
Right, and now John will save unless something disastrous happens, and that's officially a save. Okay.
Okay, we have 2 away, 7 away, and here's what people don't understand. When your opponent is 2 away, if you double them, they never have a recube, so there is no recube vig. But you still don't want to double too early because, first of all, it's an easy take, and second of all, you lose the chance to end the game and win a point, and third of all, you don't give them a chance to make a mistake later. So you don't double too quick, but you would double quicker than you think because there's no recube vig. Conversely, people who are 2 away, obviously you don't double unless you're near gin or near the player's take point. Okay, so
The other key thing about that is that we start the game with each side winning 50%, of which 30% of those 50 or 15% overall are gammons. And so what Johan is, or rather what John is looking to do, is to develop a position to create some gammon threats. And of course, Johan wants to stay away from gammonish positions. So here, John should play his number in an offensive fashion, like as he did,
Right.
doing that rather than doing something more defensive, like advancing his anchor.
So you are playing pretty much gammon go and gammon save.
Yeah, John should play this as gammon go and double when he has something. So here I'd make the 3-point.
Yep.
Okay, but Johan is not accommodating him. He's 3-2 is a nice number. I'd make the 4-point here, not give him the 7 shots. You're making the 4 prime, and you're not exposing a blot to the 7 there.
I see. I agree. I see that.
And now John just needs to come out.
That hurts. Getting hit there is a pretty big swing.
I like Johan not anchoring there. He's going to be up in the. He may well wind up in the race, and he doesn't want to prime himself. And at this point, John's not well positioned to attack him. Though obviously the double 3s makes John's position much more potent.
Four two is not what he was looking for
Not what he was looking for.
at all. That's a play I make if I'm losing, and I'm going. Oh, it's pretty interesting play. I might double this.
John's got to think about doubling this. He's gonna win quite a few gammons if he follows up with an ace there.
Yeah, I would. That's why I wouldn't make the play if I were Johan, because I think I'd see that cube and I wouldn't like it. And Thomas agrees it would be a cube. He hits 2. So the answer, if you're not hitting 2, is to bring 1 down, or you play super safe to the. Ooh, I really don't like this.
All right.
I'm doubling.
I'm 100% doubling this. There's.
Well, I'm
In
2.
addition to aces, you could switch with 2-2. You could switch with 3-3. You could hit him loose with 5-5. I mean, that's 14 numbers.
Yeah.
That's just way too many monster numbers to
when you're
that
leading
could
at this
lead to
score.
gammons that a gammon go score to not double.
So you're 100% doubling. I'm 200% because I got you and Thomas Tenlin that say double. So I got me too.
I mean, if it goes badly,
There
you
it is.
lose.
Very good.
You were going to be 1 away, 7 away anyway.
6-7%
Yeah.
chance to win
Yeah.
anyway. So why not?
Now, what does Johan do here? That's the question. I mean, he had to be thinking about what can I do to take the cube on that last play.
You got to think about that before you make the play.
I
You
understand
gotta
that.
know.
I'm saying he was thinking about that before the last
Sure.
play. So presumably he likes this better than stacking him up on the 4-point. But
But if he stacks him up in the 4-point, is he going to get doubled? I don't even think it's a double.
I think he would have been doubled. But
Oh,
that's
he
an
would have
easy-
been?
I think he had stacked him up on the 4-point. That's a double and an easy take. I
It's certainly less gammonish, too, though.
have no idea what to do here.
What to do here?
I'd probably pass this.
I do, too. I go back and take that last play over.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how that last play could be right at the score. Martin, all moves for Johan were double pass. Okay, if that's true, and if you read that, then you make the play that you think your opponent is less likely to double. Maybe you can sucker him out of doubling. But if they're all double pass, then it doesn't matter. However, you got to be careful not to give him a too good situation.
I think the bottom line is John's structure just improved so much with the double threes making the 5-point. It just became way too dangerous at this score.
I didn't realize everything was double pass.
Yeah. Well, that's what that's telling you, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, keep in mind, anytime the bot tells you something, the bot's assuming you're playing a perfect opponent. So there are some nuances because none of us are playing a perfect opponent, even when you're playing Mochi. But you may as well pretend you are. You're playing Mochi, but you got to keep in mind there is some flex between any human and what the bot says.
So I understand that John wants to play for offense here, and bringing 2 down is tempting, but and that's the thematic play. But here, if you don't come out from the back 24-13, any number that doesn't make a point next roll is going to be awkward. So I would have come out. The standard play was 6-5
Would you
here.
consider up and down at all on that play? That's what I was thinking.
No, that's
That's
I'm
too
not
rich?
going out of my way to provoke contact.
I
This badly outboarded. I would have come all the way 24-13.
I see.
So I think that 6-5 is probably an error.
Uh-huh.
Because now you roll something like this at a high-low number that doesn't make a point, and it's just he's in a very bad situation now.
Yeah. Now you come out to the bar and there's a lot of double hits.
I think you got a double hit coming out to the bar. What works?
You hit off the ace point. You do double tiger.
No, but if he comes out to the bar, he's got the 6s off the bar.
Yeah.
He's got the 5s off the bar. Plus, when he enters to the 6, he
Right.
hits there. Right.
I almost like double tiger there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you would agree. You agree with
Yeah.
me. Okay. Like double tiger means we would hit both.
Yeah.
We'd hit off the ace point there. That sort of protects your checker on the 5-point a little bit. Ooh, great roll. How do you play it?
All right, we're not
This.
thinking. We are absolutely not thinking of hitting here. So it's either make the 5 or make the 4. But it's
I make
I'd make the 4-point because I think Johan's just offense is just too strong, and there's a lot of variations in which Sean will just get closed out here for the match.
Yep.
And if we make the 4-point, he's only got 21 numbers to hit.
By the way, double hit was best by .88. Here's another one where you and I happen to slop into the right play.
I got to make the 4-point here. It's
At
just
this
too dangerous.
point, here I know it's right to make the 4-point because Joe Sylvester taught me years and years ago, offense, defense, defense.
Did somebody tell us what was right on the 6-5 that John had a while ago? Was it right to play 7-8, or should he have just gone 24-13? Thank you for
Okay.
that.
He made the 5.
He made the 5. Clearly better than hitting, but I would have made the 4. All right. He caught a break for the moment that Johan did not roll the 5 or a 6, so he can't be pointed on.
You say caught a break. Here's another fun double tiger situation. No, you make the ace point. That's right.
Yep.
That's got to be right.
All right, and John is fighting for his life here.
And,
And all right, wow, huge shot.
and he has life.
Huge
That's
shot.
great.
Not only that, he's a favorite in the game now. He's in great position. And Johan's under a lot of pressure to roll 3, which he didn't do.
6 out and lift the block.
All right.
Very soon.
I'm looking at a double
Very
here for
soon.
John. Looking at a double here. We can make the 4-point. We can hit the 3.
I think it's an easy take.
It's a take, but John's got to double and get his gammons going here.
He agrees with you. I think it's an easy take, though.
Yeah, there's some bad numbers, but he rolls a 3-4,
He
3-5.
Did he drop? No. Yes, he did. He passed. So my easy take just got passed by a great player. I guess I blew that one.
Oh, there's some gammons here. and it's kind of a post blitz type of position. One of the things that's not appreciated even by somewhat experienced players is that post 5-5 blitz type of positions are much more gammonish for the trailer once they establish that anchor, and this had that look even though we didn't get there in that fashion. All right, and they're taking a short break again, and it's 2 away, 5 away.
Now, I'll tell you a little bit about 2 away, 5 away. It's the lowest take point for the leader of any of the 5 away scores. His take point's only 17%. By the way, Morton Host says it, XG++ says it was a take by 2-4.
That's what I thought. It was an easy double and an easy take.
Yeah. So 2 away, 5 away, you can take, if it's not gammonish at all, you can take just about everything down to 17%, which is much lower than your normal take point, because it doesn't matter that much whether you lose 1 or 2 points.
Right.
What really matters is if you're in a position that gets gammon, then you're going to pass.
Right.
So as a result, you actually double slower when your opponent is 2 away and you're 5 away. Now, when do you double fast? If you're 4 away and he's 2 away. We all know that.
Right.
That's when you double much, much faster.
And that has implications for how you play the checkers for 2 away, 5 away. The trailer wants to double quickly in anything gammonish because the leader can't afford to get gammon and has to wait till he's almost 84% to double at anything that's not gammonish. And so that can affect plays early in the game. Specifically, the leader wants to establish that high anchor in the opponent's board. You could even justify things like playing a double 2 early in the game to establish a 20-point, because once you establish that high anchor in your opponent's board, your gammon losses go way, way down.
Very, very well put. So the real important thing is, number one, you need to learn this stuff. You need to study it and just memorize it. I can't figure out all this take points and gammon values over the board. I've got every one of them memorized, and it's not that hard. There's some shortcuts and tricks to do it. And number two, think about these things between games. The clock is not running. You can take as long as you want between games to realize and set the stage, and it really could affect your opening roll. And once you know that you're going to double fast if this happens, or double slow if that happens, you're going to drop fast if this happens, and drop fast if that happens, then you won't be surprised when you get there. You're not likely to miss a cube. You're not as likely to miss a cube, and you're not as likely to make a mistake taking or passing. So before every single game, when I play practice sessions with my students, part of the practice session is before the roll, I want to hear them tell me everything that's going on at this score before the opening roll. Get in that habit.
Yep.
Okay, where are we at? Somebody's transcribing. Oh, yeah. Martin Host says Roy said at 3.75, Moaz said at 5.45, and I don't think that's surprising. I think they're both great players, but I don't think it's surprising from what we've seen that John is outplaying him, because we have seen some plays and cubes that we really don't like from Mohan.
I suspect that a big piece of Johan's PR was the doubles that he missed in the game, where he hit the 1-6 joker off the roof, and then was able to build the prime to contain that checker, and John broke down. It looked at least to us like he had several doubles, and then ultimately did double in a position that was inferior to the ones that he had a shoe doubling earlier. And I think that's a large part of the PR. The checker plays looked pretty solid to me from both.
Some of my worst
sides.
Some of my worst PRs is a result of making the same mistake 6 times in a row. And and you get dinged every time. You get to a position where you think you're too good here, and the problem is you think you're too good the next roll, and you probably should have doubled every roll because there's something you were missing.
Well, if you've had a turnaround, it's important to, if you're not going to double, it's important to sit there and say to yourself, am I not doubling because this is not good enough, or am I not doubling because it's too good? Okay, and if you're not doubling because, oh, well, the position's confusing and we're tired and you don't want to think about it, okay, that's bad, okay? You have to force yourself. You have to force yourself to think about it.
But I have a rule of thumb. If I don't know if I'm too good or not good enough, I always double.
Because you're somewhere in between, right?
Well, or because he might make a mistake. He might take, if it's too good, and he might drop if it's not good enough. Again, I love the theory that your opponent can't make a mistake if you don't turn the cube. Now, it's a generalization, and I also like the saying, all generalizations are false. There's many times that's going to be wrong, but it's served me well over the years, especially in money games. Right. I love it. Right. I can't tell you how often I've belabored, am I too good? I finally give the cube, and he takes. He just scoops it up. I love it.
All right, and we are up to 230 13 viewers, and we still have only 2 likes. Okay, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this presentation and you're enjoying the commentary. So we would appreciate. Now we have 3 likes. Thank you. Would appreciate if you guys would smash or touch gently, whichever you prefer, that like button.
The like button is that thumbs up button.
That thumbs up button.
Yeah. And by the way, the 3rd like was me.
Oh.
Let's be honest.
I wasn't going to share the dirty secrets, but
Thank you, Jonah.
all right.
And let's see if I can do it again. Nope, they won't let me. That unlikes it.
No,
Don't-
if you touch
don't
the
do it
button,
twice.
if you touch that button again, we're back to 2.
You unlike it.
All right.
Wait
So-
a minute. Anita says she sees 61 likes, so we're not really
Oh.
seeing a good.
Oh,
update.
we're not seeing all of
Well,
them.
thank
All
you
right.
very much.
All right.
By the way, we had over 1,000 or 1,100 viewers simultaneously on the 2 streams yesterday. That's a record. And of course, we get a lot more viewers who are going to watch other at different times. You know, with these time zone changes, a lot of our great matches are when all my friends are still asleep in California.
Yep.
And by the way, sometimes at midnight, at 9 p.m. in California, my friends are still asleep from the previous day. I don't know how people live like that. They have dinner at 11 o'clock at night. I have dinner at 4 because I want the early bird special. I live in Florida. My mother would kill me if I didn't get the early bird special. All right, 90 likes now. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for listening. And visit Backgammon Galaxy. Take a look at their store. If you don't play on a really good board, you're not really playing backgammon. And I'm not saying it has to be this board. There's lots of good boards, but there's something about playing on a really nice board with a really great Simborg baffle. With a baffle box that to me adds so much to the game. And crooked dice, get yourself a good set of precision dice no matter where you play.
All right.
By the way, I want to say something else. The boards here are really, really nice. You don't go to too many tournaments where the boards are supplied. And they used to have fairly cheap plastic boards here, which were still okay. I don't criticize it, but it would be tremendously expensive to provide good boards, and they have them.
Yeah, no, these are the best boards provided at a tournament I've ever seen, and the old ones were somewhat cheap plastic,
really
and they didn't
cheap.
get proper dice. But if you do like the old ones, you should get in contact with Mark Olson because he will give you a very good price on one of the old
Yeah,
boards.
about $3, I think, is what they're worth.
yeah.
But I used
He
to.
may even just
Yeah.
he may even just charge you for the time and the expense of shipping it.
I hated the old
But
boards.
the new boards are nice.
I hated the old board so much. I actually carried my own board across the ocean to play, so I could play on a good board when I play. And a lot of other people did. Now you really don't need to.
Yeah.
By the way, we had nothing but gorgeous new boards in Jamaica too, all supplied. So in October, come to Florida, then Jamaica to my tournament in Ocho Rios, and you won't need to bring a board. They'll be beautiful. And
Yep.
in Florida, you might need a board, but I'll loan you one. I got a few at home, about 20.
So we are now 2 away, 5 away.
Yep.
The match equity tables will put this at 74% for Johan, 26% for John. As we've said, Johan has a very low 17% take point here in anything in which he does not have to worry about a gammon, and a very a high risk aversion to anything gammonish. And so
Here's something you probably can't
we
answer.
could see that impact the checker plays early on because John wants to create gammon threats and Johan wants to make sure he doesn't find himself in any position with gammon threats.
All right, while we're on this subject, I bet you can't answer this one without giving some calculation. What's the difference between the live and dead cube take point for John?
Live and dead cube.
Take points for John.
For Johan or for John?
For
No.
John. If John gets doubled, what's the difference between his live cube take point and his dead cube take point?
Well, here, if John gets doubled, he's insta redoubling because it's 11. So if John were to pass a cube from Johan, he would then be 1 away, 5 away, which is 16%. Okay. If John were to take a cube from Johan and then re-whip it to 4 and then win the match, but then get to 10-9, but without a gammon, he would then be 68%. Okay. So his take point, not including any gammons, is 16 over 68, which is just under 25%.
Wow. Wonderful.
However, if there is any chance John could win the gammon, it would go a little bit below 16 to 68%. So
Well, that's a gammon adjusted take
again,
point.
yeah.
But you hit it, you nailed it, and you showed people how it's done.
Yep.
I'm very impressed. I'll bet you that not more than about 10 or 15% of open players could do what you just did. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And I'm happy that you are going to be teaching more backgammon and be working together with my group. I'm looking forward to it. We just told the world what's going to happen in the future. We're really proud to be working with Chris.
Thank you.
Baffle boxes are no good for mind control. Yeah, that's why I use it. I don't want somebody using mind control on my dice. That's why I use a baffle box. They sell a soft baffle box here. I have a hard plastic see-through baffle box that's kind of quiet, and kind of pleasant to hear the little tingling down onto the board. But if you watch top players play speed gammon, they love baffle boxes. You don't have cocked dice. They don't go on the floor. It's faster. You don't have to do all that shaking. You just drop them into the box real quick and you're done. The answer to dead cube live cube take point, again, if you listen to Chris, he will tell you that it's around 10% difference at that score. Now, what is a dead cube take point? That's when you don't have a recube. On the last roll of the game, that's your dead cube take point. Or if you're 2 away, there's no difference between the live and dead cube take point for Johan. Anytime he takes the cube, it's a dead cube. So and the calculation is kind of tricky at some scores in particular. But you need to know both. However, most of the time, the live cube take point applies.
The match is in there, yes.
Hi. Give people a little bit more time between games.
We took a break.
Because the bathroom's not real close. It's a big, big room. I don't know if you can see behind me. It's a huge room, very well lit, very comfortable. If you feel like taking a break, you walk out right out the door and you see yachts and gorgeous, the Mediterranean Sea. We're right on it. I took a break and spent just 15 minutes up by the pool, got a little sun and relaxed. Kind of hard to relax with the gorgeous views around the pool, too. Thomas corrected your numbers. He says it's around 40 and 23. So calculation, you had the right idea on the calculation, though. But if you can't recube, you have to have around 43% to take the cube. And it's rarely relevant, as I was saying, Thomas is saying also, how often you get double in the last roll of the game, but it happens. How often do you see 2 checkers on the 2 point and 1 or 2 on the ace?
Ladies tournaments,
Oh, the ladies tournament's about to start. You know, there's a new group in the United States called Women in Backgammon. They're doing a wonderful job of promoting women in backgammon, and the reason I know it's wonderful is their numbers are increasing constantly. I got to thank Karen Davis, and I guess it's Michelle Rogers, I think, had a lot to do with it. A couple of other ladies. I'm sorry if I left someone out. Lisa Spear, I know, has done a lot of work with that group. And a lot of really top people have volunteered their time to help out. Steve Sachs is going to do a lecture coming up in the future. Bill Roberti has given a lecture to help the group. They do a lot of online stuff, and it's really increasing women in the game.
Correction, ladies, no choices. It's optional, so both sides have to agree to play with the block in order to bring the block to a ladies match.
Someone's asking about the formula for take points. It is risk over risk plus reward, but that ignores gammons, and that gives you only the dead cube take point. Risk over risk plus reward.
Yeah, the thing to remember here is that if Johan doubles John, we don't have to calculate those risk rewards right at that point. We just go straight to John redoubling Johan to 4. And so then the question is, if John were to redouble Johan to 4 and win the game, he would be 1 away, 2 away, Crawford, which is 68%. If John were to pass the initial double, he would be 16%. So the question is what percentage of the time do you have to get to 68% to be even with 16%? And that number is a little bit over 25%.
Okay, here we go. It's getting down to the wire here. 5 away, 2 away. John is appropriately winning because his PR is better, and it's nice to see. I really love it when the player who played better wins and overcomes the luck factor. That's the way I think the game should be. Okay, guys. Okay, makes the 5 point. Good. You would love to have
That's an example of the score impacting the checker play. John's correct play would have clearly been to hit the 3 in a cash game or early in the match at a neutral score, but here he's trying to steer it to more gammonish positions, and what's he going to do here? I don't think he'd like to make the 8 point, but I think splitting with the 4 and making the 8 point with the 5 is just giving Johan too much momentum. So he'll bring 2 down, or he could choose to play 24-15 and have it be a distraction. This works great when you don't get pointed on, but you just lose a ton of momentum when you do get pointed on.
There is that theory that if you don't slot his 5 point, right, and he makes it, and you didn't slot it, you were still unhappy. Yeah. Double tiger. Here we go. Very aggressive.
Now, going on what we said, if Johan makes this play, John should absolutely double this because he's got significant gammon threats now.
And he's looking at, and that's why I wouldn't have made this play.
I am one. Well, what else could Johan have done with 6-5?
I guess you're not going to get away with cheating here, are you?
No.
I guess you would have had to do something like that. Okay.
There was no other play. I would have doubled this. Absolutely.
Yep, I would have.
You're looking for a position with gammon threats, and this position absolutely has plenty of gammon in it now. But he didn't double, and Johan is stabilized here, making the 5 point.
We had a similar position earlier where it clearly was the double too.
John fans on the 2 point board. Not the time for that. And Johan rolls a monster here.
It is a monster.
So he could make the bar. He could make the 3 and then come up this way. I like this.
Yeah, the one thing against making the bar was you completely strip your midpoint. Strip meaning that you only have 2 checkers left, and then you can't play off of there without losing the point or leaving a blot. Clearly right to make this play when you're winning. You just want to run. You want a racing game. You want to minimize gammons. Come around. Certainly. Ooh, that's a joker.
That's a joker.
That's a real joker. Antoinette.
That's a joker return.
Hi, Chris and Phil.
Wow, 4-3.
I'm so glad you're back in the hunt, Antoinette.
Let's go.
Good to see you.
And nice reply. Comes in on the 3 point, positions that checker to escape.
I'm making the 9.
I'm making the 9 all day.
Me too, yeah, all
I'm
day.
making the 9. If Johan rolls a joker here to knock me out, I'll tip my hat to him. But I'm making the 9 to try to.
Most people don't know this, but a 5 prime is almost a 6 prime.
Yep.
Did you know that?
And
I like this play.
I like this play by Johan. If he gets away with it and is able to make the 4 point next roll, he's got plenty of time to roll that ace and 6, and particularly John may come in deep and crack. Okay. Now Johan's in great shape if he can roll a 2, 8, or 9 here. Not one of those, but the best miss probably making the bar. One of the better misses.
This would be 1-6 maybe.
A 1-6, yeah. A good miss.
Yeah, you double. Not when you're winning. If you were behind here, you would think about doubling. But
no way.
Not at this score. You're right. I just have a habit of asking that question at every roll. Somebody hit me over the head with that. His name was Jake Jacobs. He was teaching me years ago.
Not enough gammons for John to roll but double this.
And
I don't think John should double this. Not enough gammons, and there's plenty of variations where he gets stuck with a deuce point game, and can pass the cube later. He doesn't want to sit there and activate the cube to give Johan what he needs for 11 points.
I don't know. Didn't we see Johan drop an easy take before?
I can't picture Johan passing this.
I know, but if you start feeling a tendency of your opponent to drop too much, I would have been more tempted to double.
This one's a bridge too far for me. I'm not doubling this.
Okay.
I don't think there's any chance Johan passes that one.
Yeah. You go to the ace point or hit? I would have liked this score being a little bit more aggressive there with that 5. It's ugly, but I'd like taking a shot at that.
So he cannot keep the prime, so
There's an argument to make the ace point from the 3.
he'll probably pick up the bar and go to the ace point because then he kills his 6s. If he clears the 8 point, then he's not killing anything. So I would clear this. I would clear the bar. Kill your 6s.
See, that play is a play that was on my mind here. It's so brittle on the other side. I think there's merit to this play.
There's merit.
I'm
No,
with you.
this I don't like at all.
I'm with you. I break the 7 before the 8.
Yeah, this doesn't accomplish anything either. One of the other two plays. Okay.
I like this play.
All right.
I
Yeah.
like-
Well, the blot on the ace point certainly argues for doing this because if he rolls a 6, there isn't going to be any way you can.
Plus, if
Very few 6s play
if
well.
you read my book, it says always make the ace point when you can.
That's why I haven't read your book.
Nobody has.
Oh, it just plays.
Thank you for knowing I was joking there, by the way.
Yeah.
I really hate it when the other guy says, "Oh, really? That's an interesting concept." Yeah.
All right.
Forced by logic. And I'm doubling by logic.
You're doubling that.
I'm doubling this. Absolutely. If I hit him, I love it. He's stuck behind a 5 prime. If I miss, he
Unless
may
I hit
crack.
him. Unless I hit him with 4-3.
I don't care. I'm doubling it. Look at the score. I'm gambling. Nice no double.
I just spent a little more time on that one. I had decided whether I would double, but probably not.
Now you've lost your market.
All right.
I think you've
so
lost.
double now. Double now. And if he passes, I'm 4-away 2-way.
That's true.
Double now.
You love
My
to-
position's so good that I mind winning a point here.
Yeah. And Chris brings up a good point.
Double
if, you're,
now.
if you're losing, you'd love to be losing 2-away,
Double now.
4-away. That's
Double
where
now.
you have a
I get what I need.
great
I get to
cube pick.
4-away 2-way. That's
I
what
would
I
have
need
doubled
here.
the roll before, though, but I'm passing this, by the way. I would not take this cube.
How many gammons is he going to lose?
It's not just about gammons. I don't want to lose 2 points. Although 2 points without gammons isn't that valuable. It's 7% more equity if you look at the equity.
I mean, 2-3 is on the dice. Next time he can roll a 1 and 1-1, 1-2, 1-3.
Well, Joe Russell disagrees with us. He says it's not a double.
I think I'd take this easily.
Maybe the
Joe
time
said
before.
that.
The time before. I'm
right, well.
sure is what Joe meant. You've been teaching Joe Russell a lot lately, haven't you? I
No,
think-
Joe Russell has nothing to learn from me. Joe Russell's won this tournament twice.
Oh, I wish you'd have played along with me. Then we'd see some more good comments from Joe.
No.
How much have we all learned from it? Neil Kazaros says it hit a cube.
Yeah, I would have. I don't mind the double, even if it's not, but I certainly would have taken that.
Kazaros says, "Oh my God, how could you pass that?" What does Neil Kazaros know other than being one of the greatest players of all time? How could he possibly disagree with me after he hears what I said? He still disagrees. That's disrespectful,
All right.
Neil.
Nice reply by Johan.
Yep. Now, all good players know that this score is the most fun score for the trailer. You can double at the slightest smell of gammons if you're the trailer.
But there is no cent at the moment.
No cent. Right.
There is no cent at the moment.
Right.
Johan survived the openings.
That's right.
Double fives very nicely and has stabilized on the 17 point, and now he can work on offense, and that's a fine way to do it.
Yeah. And it's a real mistake. Real mistake to double if it's not gammonish,
Yeah.
unless you're gin and a
All
race.
right. I'm bringing the 6 down. Stay back for maximum contact here.
If you double, the take point for the leader is 19.8, and his gammon price is 1.0. So that's why gammons become such a monster factor,
All right.
because his take point's actually even a little lower
All
than
right.
normal.
I do not like the switch here. I would just put both of those guys on the midpoint. We're not looking to attack or blitz here in Johann's
It's actually
position, and John's already got the.
Yeah. And I'm with you, Chris, because you can actually clear those back checkers easier.
Yeah.
If they're all.
I just stack them up on the midpoint.
Yeah, much better. It's
there
hard
you
to
go.
break the 14 and the 13.
Nice play by Johann.
Well, your definition of nice is he agreed with you, right?
No, well, yes. But I think that
I agree with you.
he's got to look at what he's trying to accomplish in the position.
Yeah.
He's not attacking. He's not blitzing. John has got the bar point anchor. You don't accomplish anything by switching to the 3 here.
So both Joe Russell and Kazaroff say it was an easy take, the one he dropped. And which is why I think it may have been a double the time before. I mean, we saw earlier in the match, Johann dropped what we thought was an easy take, and it turned out to be a huge take. So we've got a guy that's dropping too much right now.
Well, I mean, look.
Which is another reason to double. It's not the only
If
reason.
we want to make any double can be justified if we want to make heroic enough assumptions of what error our opponent might make. But that one was a bridge too far for me. But obviously, you could be right.
Well, but there is some history. Okay. Well, I'm not going to disagree with you, Joe Russell and Neil Kazaros. Okay. I'm in the Me Too category.
Bring the 5 down and let's start building the board. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. We need to get the board ready for when the shot comes. Wow, huge shot.
Now the
Huge shot by Johann. Now he's got
yeah.
3 nice places for the landing spots for the checkers on the midpoint, and John's probably going to need to come out when he rolls a 4 as he does right now. And now Johann's got a simple position, in which he almost never gets gammon, so he'll just.
Now John's take point being.
Having said that, he just rolled a bad number.
Bad number. John's take point is about 18.5, about 18 and a half. Even though he's got an automatic recube, he should pass the cube if he has less than 18.5%. So because it's an automatic recube, Johann shouldn't double until he's right at that or below that number. And here he's got to have more than 25%. So it's big no double. Easy take. Now here you must break the 18 point or you're burying checkers.
13 point, you mean?
13 point. Yeah. 13 point. 13, 18. Does that matter really?
In this case, it would affect the position, yeah.
Might affect the position.
Yeah.
God, I wish Joe Russell or Neil Kazaros were here. Not that I don't love you, but instead of me, I'd love them doing commentary. I've heard both of them, and they're great.
Well, Joe has promised us he's coming next year.
Yep, and he's coming to Jamaica.
He's coming to Jamaica, and hopefully Neil had some health issues, but he's been feeling better recently. He played in Chicago, so hopefully he'll come next year too.
Well, he had health issues, and he's been playing the way he's been playing. His PRs are amazing. All right, what do you do here? You don't leave the shot, because this does get gammonish, and you don't want to do that if you leave shots. Very ugly position. If forced to. John could even go with 1 if he has to, but there's no need for that now.
No, I don't like that. You want to cover with 7-4 and play 7-4, 6-4, because now a 6 goes to the ace point.
Mm-hmm.
Slight misplay by John there, but
Yeah.
probably not a big deal.
Well, keep in mind, John's not out of this race either, just because.
Well, that's another reason not to sack them up on the
Right.
bar.
Right.
All right, but it
That's
sorts
my point.
itself out because he rolled a 5. Now he'll play 6-4 with the
Yeah.
other piece of this.
But yes, you'd like to get a shot, but you also have a chance in the race here.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
And
I guess he's thinking along your lines.
yeah, that's the racing play. You bring the checker in to get the crossover. But you're forced to run now with a 6. You leave the shot first, but right now you're not afraid of his board. But what happens if he makes the bar point, the 6 point? I'm not sure I bring it in. I'm willing to sacrifice a pip or two to have some flexibility. Both the players have plenty of time on the clock, 5 minutes and 8 minutes. So why not pause and reflect?
Well, what's the race here? Well, 1, 8, 6, 7.
That's a good roll. Keep it
Thomas
going.
said he would play 7-5 there because he's just happy to run with a 6. Fair point. Ouch.
Pips is pips.
That's a big number, but not
Yeah.
the big number you wanted.
No, it's your worst big number. This is going to get tricky and fun. And here comes tricky and fun. You're going to hit with most numbers if you can. Oh,
Wow, huge
big
shot
roll.
by Johan.
Big roll.
Huge shot.
It's going to be double pass in a second because he won't have that 18.5%, I think. Yeah. This can't be 18%, can it? Got to be a double pass. There's no gammons. In fact, I asked O'Hagan how he comes up with this the other day. He said he uses eyesight, and then he puts it into the Keith count or Trice formulas to figure out the winning percentage. Yeah, I think this is double pass.
Certainly a double. Close enough.
Okay,
Where's yours?
2, 4, 6, 8. 8 pips of wastage for John. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 pips of wastage for Johan. So there is that. But what the Keith count doesn't do is it doesn't count crossovers. And those 2 extra crossovers, I think, tilts it to a pass, in my opinion.
40 to 58, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Martin House said black has 8%. Somebody said, how do you calculate 18%? Well, what's his winning chances now with the score? How often is he going to win the match? At 1 away, 4 away. He's got to win 3 games or win a gammon on that second game. That comes out to about 18.5%. So if you can win more than 18.5%, you take the cube, redouble, and play for the match.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's not a whole lot of math there. But you had to know that the winning chances, if you pass, are around 18.5, and it's always the same as the take point when it's going to be double match point if you take and recube. I hope I explained that well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it fast so we can get back into
All right,
this
so
game.
so here Gammons count. So John wants to think about that in his checker play choices.
Now, it's a Crawford game. The scoreboard should have been changed to the word Crawford so there would be no confusion. And I also even take the cube off the table so that nobody doubles. Now, what Chris said is, I think the most important thing you need to know at the beginning of each game. When it's a Crawford game, do gammons matter or not? And if he wins the gammon, the next game is for the match because he's going to double on the first roll. If he doesn't win a gammon, he's still going to double on the first roll, but he still has to win 2 games or a gammon.
Yeah.
So the gammon is pretty important here.
Right, and that's why Johan grabbed that. He's very happy with that roll. Grabbed that other checker and made the 4-point right away because his gammon losses just went way down.
I fly. No?
I go out with the 6, 21-15, and then I'm looking for my 2.
I fly all the way because if he,
I'd probably go.
I want him
I'd
to
probably
come
go
off
all the way
anchor.
too because he comes off the anchor to hit.
Yeah.
And I don't like this. This gives more double hits. It allows Johan to hit at a place where he'd rather hit, which is the 4-point.
So 2 down. I think it's 2 down here. Yep. You may hear the voice of Arda in the background. Not only do we have Mark Olson and his group, but we have Arda running the tournament, which is a very smart move. Everybody knows he's got a great crew, and he himself are just terrific tournament directors. I don't see another play besides 2 down that I like. I don't like this.
Yeah.
They're typing all kinds of stuff using the word heuristics, and I think they're trying to get lexiphanic with me. Or sesquipedalian, one of the two. I don't think that's nice. Thomas Tenley's fault. Okay. We're back to the 2 down. Do it. Pick up the dice. Let's go. Well, you got 7 minutes left. Take your time.
Yeah, I mean, what he's thinking about here is if he brings two down, John can hit that guy with fives, he can anchor with fours, and then he's pretty much divided his army because the 13 checkers up front are trying to contain but can't really attack with the two that are there, and then you've conceded total outfield control to John. And I don't think this move that he's done, spreading them out in an attempt to make the 9-point fight for outfield control, is awful. But obviously, at a gammon save situation, it's a more risky play because, John could come off the roof with the double twos or double threes, which would be a disaster for Johan if he makes this play. So he elects not to hit it all and keep the midpoint, fight for outfield control.
And on top of that,
This one's an easy play to me. Come out and slot the 5-point.
on top of that, if you looked at the other play, you're giving him a huge double three joker.
Thomas Henlon said, "Is it coming out a bit big?" I think yes. So I think it's a very reasonable play for Casher at the beginning of the match.
Yeah. This play keeps his anchor. That's the advantage of not
All right.
bringing the two down. But I like the hitting play. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
One of the things John might have noticed slotting the 5 there was that some of Johan's hits aren't great. 1-2 and 1-3 in particular. So now he's got to start another point.
Bringing two down and hitting was right by .108.
Okay.
I love that you guys are that sharp and you're putting this into XG and passing on that information. Really helps.
Yeah.
They just aren't able to have XG on both streams. I hope by next year we'll have that.
All right. Well, it's gotten volatile.
Yep, but your opponent has no board. It's nice to play, to be able to play aggressive.
And John did not perform.
And we say that's a flunk. That's a flunk. And that,
So he covers the 5. What does he do with the 6?
I'm hitting. Let's be consistent. He played double tiger before. Let's play double tiger again.
We will start at 8-player jackpot for $1,000 per person.
I'm hitting.
8-player jackpot if you're
Yep, he agrees. He hit.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
And it's not necessarily more dangerous than some other 6 because you'll have a chance to anchor up if you're hit. Wow. And you win big when this happens.
Yep. And I wouldn't cube here only because you're not allowed to. Again, I don't like that.
I think
I don't like that they didn't show it Crawford.
Just play 8 to 5 here. Simple. Leaves you with 2 covers for the ace point. Yeah. And now 7. Now play the ace to the 7. Just want 2 covers.
I'm with you. Neil Kazaros liked the double hit also, so we've got XG, me, and Neil agreeing. That's pretty strong, isn't it? All right, 3-1. Pick and pass. I like pick and pass. I don't think you need to leave 2 blots.
Well, if he
Now-
left it there, he would play the ace to make the anchor.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Cover and out.
4 out. That's your only. That's
That's all you can do. Now you use Silva mind control and you ask for fours, and it worked. Look at that, it worked.
Oh, interesting.
You
Now,
play-
how big does Johan want to get here? Is he
Yeah.
playing 13-10 or is he playing something more conservative?
I play 13-10 because my opponents never roll well against me.
Okay. That's why you've been able to write books. And
Right. I don't like this play at all.
now I
like-
understand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Play is forced by logic. Now he's got game.
Boy,
John's back in the game. Sevens and fours. And not tens. Ah.
this is a tough one. I hate to bury a check. Oh, you can make the deuce point. I was going to say bury a checker on the 3 or give up the
Yeah.
11, but this or give up the 16. But this is an option.
It's an ugly roll. Somebody said a position where Simboard doesn't cube. There aren't many of those where I won't cube, but yeah. You found a position that whenever it's Crawford, I'm very, very hesitant to cube. I've tried it a few times, though. Sometimes you get away with it.
Just slot.
And in the old days, if you played non-legal moves and it was Crawford and you gave the cube, and if you were in Bill Davis's tournament, it didn't count. And if you were in Howard Markowitz's tournament, it did. One of the reasons why we formed the USBGF to have standardized rules. And now that's the case worldwide, which I love. The better game. Even if you went the wrong way, at least everybody's got the same rules.
All right.
Great.
Now, made variations. Johan clears his midpoint. Oh, the ace is very bad. The ace is very bad for John.
Yeah. But he doesn't
He
care about
wanted to
gammon.
just clear his midpoint, and then Johan would have to
Yeah,
roll
but
a double to bring this home.
I don't break my board, though. I just bring one down. I don't want to break my board. I got to have a game, and I don't care about getting gammon. To me, this is the only play.
Yep. And he agrees with you. Oh, wow, what a joker.
Crusher.
That's that's devastating.
Now, if you're playing online, John would just let the clock run out. That's what they seem to be doing to me on Backgammon Galaxy.
Well, most people are gentlemen or gentlewomen, hopefully,
Yeah.
so they're not
I don't
doing
know. I'm playing lower level players. I don't play anybody over 1,200.
it. All right, slot the 4-point.
Slot the bar. I think where we saw the major PR giveaways of this match were on the cube. And if you look at good players' histories of their PR, you'll see that almost all good players give up a little more equity on their cube than they do on their checker play. And that's partially because even a small mental error can end up being a large equity mistake on a cube.
Oh, he's got the.
All right.
He got the desired
There you
ace time, so a chance for John.
Here it is.
Can he do it?
For the fans.
Can he do it for the fans? No. All
But
right.
you stay there and pray for double one.
Got to stay there and pray for double
Pray for
one.
double ones.
An ace.
Otherwise, you get ready to shake hands.
It's a 1% scenario, which did not happen.
Now you shake hands. There you go. Look at
right.
this.
Good match. Very good match.
Very good match. And Chris, you did a great job. I learned about one new thing. I'm kidding. I learned many new things in the approach to a lot of these decisions that you came up with. I loved it. Very good. Hope we work together some more. And
Yeah.
all of you hit the like button before you leave.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for
anytime.
watching. And I see a couple of our
Yep.
country people were watching.
And thanks to Bill Riles and Tara for allowing this stream to happen this well. I did the last two interviews. Why don't you do a quick interview with the winner? You want to? You put this on. Sit in my seat.
You put these on me. How do you put these on me?
This way.
What you can do is just use the hand mic. Okay, you drop into this, and then you hand it to him. You follow me?
Get rid of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You have 5 seconds?
All right, we have our winner, Johan Mosed. Is that how I pronounce it?
Yes, correct.
Mosed, congratulations on a nice match. Tell us some of your thoughts on the match.
I thought it was too tough. I like to win easier.
You like to win easy.
Yeah. He was much.
Let me add one thing. We did check the PRs in the middle, and you were playing around 3-5. Very well. I know you can play better. That's good. I know you can.
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the critical points of the match is you had what looked like an ace-point game, and then he had to, coming home, he left a blot on the bar point, and you
Yeah,
rolled the 1-6 and turned it around, and you had that point the 6, 5, and 4 points, and some spares on the midpoint. And then you ultimately built the structure 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 points. And there were a couple times we thought maybe you had a redouble, but you didn't double, and then you doubled it when you came in on the ace point. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your thought process on that situation?
No, maybe I was a bit too cautious there. Actually, possibly I had a double the roll before. But on the other hand, when I did double, it was, I had a blot and he could roll a 6. So I don't know. But you saw it, I guess. Was it wrong to not double earlier?
I think it was,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
double a couple rolls.
Okay, yeah.
And then on this last game, we had an interesting 6-4. He had left a blot on your 9 point, and you had a choice of bringing the 2 down from the midpoint, 13-7, 13-9. And we could see, obviously, that you were struggling with that because you would be giving him full outfield control.
Exactly, yeah. I wouldn't have done that. I would have gone out with the 6 and hit with the 4 if I was going to hit, for sure.
You would have done that, yeah. I think we thought that was, obviously a tough play to make, and again, the same type of situation because he was even away, and you expose yourself to him rolling a double 2.
Exactly, yeah. That was the concern I had when I ultimately played conservative. I thought I was ahead in the race. He didn't have a great structure, so I thought, be a bit conservative. It's in my nature, conservative. Yeah.
And what were you thinking after he anchored up on your 4 point before you rolled the boxes?
It was a shame, but at the same time, I've been rolling so well, I wasn't even worried. I was thinking it's good to hit the 1, but then reality is I rolled double 6. I didn't even think about that.
About boxes
No. Ones,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right.
Step back in for a second. Again, I want to thank the organizers of this tournament. They have done an incredible job. I want to thank Chris for his due. Well, Chris, we expected. He always does a great job on the commentary. Come back at 5 o'clock Monte Carlo time, which is an hour from now. I'm not sure exactly which match we're going to be streaming. And then again, we'll be back with the really exciting championship division match at 10 p.m. tonight. So I'm going to use the next hour to grab a quick bite to eat and have a snack, and we'll see you in an hour. And keep watching the streams.
Hit the like button. Please do that. Hit the like button.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.